Now, at this point, ladies and gentlemen, you have been a very good, attentive audience. You have been listening for, I don't know, half hour or so. What have you heard that would be helpful for you in improving your presentations? Let's hear from the NSA members first, then we invite the guests. So any NSA member like to say what has been helpful that they've heard, that they've been reminded of? Well, good. No one's going to argue with you, Mark.
Okay. The facts and stats aspect to add credibility to your subject matter.
Perfect. Now, what is your subject?
The 4 commitments of a winning team.
Okay, perfect. And what is the and who would be a perfect audience for you?
A company that's struggling with internal competition.
Great, good. What would be an interesting statistic, either from a sports metaphor or from a business, or it could even be from your own research with your own clients?
Teams that don't trust each other will not innovate, collaborate, or cooperate with each other.
Now, do you have a statistic we could put in there?
Have to Google that. Have to Google that.
But a great way to start is this. You could also, but this also not only is an opening, it's a way you talk on the phone. Would it interest you to know that according to Inc. magazine, 72% of companies that have unhealthy internal competition. Now you see, this could be part of your sales conversation, as well as your speech. Would it interest you to know? Would it surprise you to know? Would it horrify you to know? And if we're doing targeted calls that we didn't do before, even if you call your happy client, you might say, just did some research on your company, on your industry. Would it interest you to know that business was good when we spoke in Hawaii? But would it interest you to know that last month, so you're there, you are proving that you are a valuable resource and a trusted advisor beyond a great speaker. All right, anyone else? Anything of interest? Yes, sir. Good.
You mentioned that ask your client what it will cost them not to hire you.
Yeah.
And it goes along with something that I've been told also, which is people are much more interested in the pain than the gain.
Well, I don't know, but you sell technology. You consult with technology. So I would think it would be very easy to ask questions about what it's costing them to not have what you do.
You could use that in any business, I would think.
You could use it in any business, and again, you can use, if you've got statistics, you can use it as the opening of a speech. But the secret is, if you want to sell the value of your services, is to get your clients to fill in the blanks. If you said, I estimate that you're losing 20% productivity, ask the questions. Get them to tell you. So you say, well, how much is that costing you a year? So that you need, when the client says to you, what would it cost to do this project? You can say with a straight face, based on what your lack of technology or your lack of good sales presentations, my fee is inconsequential. Could you say that with a straight face? Why don't you say, based on what you're losing, my fee is inconsequential.
Based on what you're losing, my fee is inconsequential.
I want you to say again, inconsequential. Taste it. Taste it.
Inconsequential.
Good. Good. All right, good. But if you're not used to talking on the phone or having these conversations, you need to practice these sales lines the way you practice your stories. All right, good. Any other comments or specific questions? No, good. I am bracing. I am bracing. You might not get me.
I speak loudly, so.
Mine was the more attention you get with negative title or headline rather than a positive.
All right, if it comes to marketing and copywriting, yes. All right, anything about starting, stopping? Now, you had the great rhetorical question, so why don't you tell them what we came up with this afternoon by starting with the rhetorical question?
Okay, now, here we go. If I were to ask you if depression is your best business strategy, how would you respond? Because the reality is many of us are stuck there.
No. Good job, we did this again. This was get out your pen, this is a money-making idea.
All right, I'm ready.
If I were to ask you, is doom and gloom your best marketing strategy? Perhaps you would say, I don't know, but it's the world we're living in. Have you seen the real estate crisis recently? Or perhaps you would say, Doug, I don't want it to be. Can you tell me how to be productive in a down market? If you would respond to that question the second way, you're at the right place at the right time. We can do nothing about the headlines, but we can do a lot about our daily activities, attitudes, and whatever the third one is. Good job, I gave you a second chance. And the reason we said a rhetorical question is better than a question is because if a question requires a response from the audience and they don't respond the way you think, perspiration runs down the back. And you've got such a nice blue shirt, you don't want it wet. All right, our next S is...
Stop. Close on a high.
Stop. Close on a high. Without exception, look at how you opened your presentation and at least revisit it at the end. So you can do a circle technique, even if you sometimes do something else after. And this is what I call the Columbo close. You remember Columbo on television? Peter Falk? Or you're too young? Well, he lives in reruns forever, even for our young friends. What Peter Falk always did was he was just leaving the room and he turned around, one more question. And that's when the guy always confessed. When you finish your presentation, especially if it's a sales presentation, but you finish your presentation, some dramatic close. If it's a keynote speech where you have thunderous applause, you just close on a high. You do Q&A if it's appropriate, but you never close up Q&A. Because you want to write this down with your stop, you want the last words to linger, and you want them to be yours. If you're having a sales conversation or presentation, or even on the phone, Mark, when you finish, you might say, remember. Now, with one of my clients, it was 167 profitable quarters. With another one, it was, remember, 99% of the Fortune 100 did business with us. But you might say, remember the impact we had after Hawaii. The climate's different. We can still have the same impact. So a lot of the techniques you can use multiple ways. So think, when you hang up the phone, when you're talking to somebody, what is the last words that linger? And what if you left 5 messages every night for past clients and you were the most upbeat, fun message when they came in the morning? Because you always want to associate people feeling better with hearing your name or something from you.